So have you ever wondered this about yourself? You know what to do to improve your life, and yet you don't do it. So why is that? You know that eating certain foods is going to make you healthier. You know that building muscle will help keep you younger and stronger and make your body more beautiful. You know that movement will help protect your joints, your overall health, and even your brain. And you know people who exercise, walk tall, and exude confidence, and you admire these people. You also know the opposite, that not exercising causes you to become weak and frail over time, limiting your quality of life and shortening your lifespan. And yet, you may still resist doing what you know works. So if you're over 55 and you've ever said to yourself, I'm going to start next week, or I just don't feel like it today, or I don't have the energy. And the best one of all is I've earned the right to relax at my age. Well, this video is going to explain to you exactly why and how you are sabotaging yourself. And I know all about it because I've lived it. And once you understand why you resist, you'll finally know how to break through. And I also know that if you will allow it, this video can absolutely change the course of your life. Hi, I'm Linda. Welcome to my channel, New Age Beauty, which is all about aging beautifully, mind, body, and spirit. At 76, I explore what's possible, what's worth doing, and how we can all exceed our own expectations for aging by shifting our mindset from growing old to growing bold and setting bold goals for ourselves. So I was one of those countless women who knew exactly what to do, and yet I didn't do it. It was even worse for me because I actually had done it for a short period of time, and I knew all the benefits and I knew exactly what to do. In my mid 30s into my early 40s, I was on a resistance regimen, and it was great. It felt good. I felt like I looked good, but I stopped. And it wasn't because I was lazy. I was grieving. So at the age of 38, my life partner and business partner of 18 years died suddenly. And with him, my identity died. And when your world suddenly collapses like that, things like lifting weights feels frivolous. Taking care of yourself feels indulgent. So I stopped and I focused on healing. Then a few years later, I decided to try and start my life all over again. I got stronger emotionally and physically by going back to my routine. And then I lost everything yet again. A business I poured my heart, soul, money, and reputation into for 4 years. Now, it was very bold and ambitious, I'll say, but it was literally stolen from me by a very, very large company. So it was another collapse and another deep depression. And this was all before I was 45 years old. After suffering two serious heartbreaks, it took me 22 years to get my life fully back on track. And I started playing safe. I resisted big challenges after what I had been through, even though my mind and my heart wanted more. And I ignored the one thing that I knew was easy, and yet I still resisted it. And that was exercise. And I never understood why. I knew what to do. I knew it would make me feel better. I knew it would make me look better. I had no excuse because I had lived it and I knew all the benefits. And I knew it was not that hard once you started. Then at the age of 67, like I have told on my channel, my fear became louder than my resistance. It was after I couldn't make it up a flight of stairs and I saw my future in front of me and I was scared. Within the week, I set up a small fitness studio in my home, and within a few months, I saw some pretty amazing results. I wasn't sure at my age then if I was going to respond like I had in my 30s and 40s. At first, for me, it was all about survival. It was fight or flight. It had nothing to do with how I looked. But when I saw muscle definition coming back, I was all in. Became inspired to reach for more, and I just wish I knew then why we resist changing for the better. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So why are we so resistant to those things that we know are going to improve our lives? It just makes no logical sense. So let's be honest with ourselves. Most of us think that the reason we don't exercise is because we're lazy, we don't want to admit it to ourselves, or because we're afraid we're going to fail. What it's really all about is biology. It's psychology, it's emotion, and it's your personal identity and your experience. So let's break it down. But first, I encourage you to stay with me because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the exact arm exercises I use at 76 to stay strong and sculpted, even though I didn't do anything until my late 60s. And one of the three exercises is not in any other of my videos. So let's talk about biology and go back to when you were a school kid. And we learned about inertia, Newton's first law of motion. It says that an object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. That's physics. The law of inertia explains how objects resist changing motion. It's also human behavior. Plus, your nervous system prefers familiar patterns, and starting requires a force which goes against your comfort zone. Then your brain resists activation because it's wired to conserve energy for survival. So biologically, we are programmed to resist change, period. And the second thing going against us is about psychology. The brain hates uncertainty. Your brain's primary job is not fitness, it's safety. When you begin resistance training, your brain detects an unfamiliar strain, elevated heart rate, muscle fatigue, discomfort. The amygdala in your body, which is your threat detection system, interprets discomfort as danger, and it functions as the brain's emotional sentinel, responsible for processing emotions, particularly fear, anxiety, and aggression. And it triggers physiological responses like fight or flight. As a result, you feel hesitation, dread, procrastination, not because you're weak, but because your brain is protecting you from what it perceives as a threat. And that threat is change. It wants to keep us in our comfort zone. So far, we have biology and psychology working against us. And the third one is our emotional memory. Many women carry exercise memories like gym, intimidation, embarrassment, being the slowest one in class, past injuries, comparison to younger bodies. Your brain stores these emotional experiences strongly. And if exercise ever felt humiliating or painful, your nervous system naturally avoids it. And that's called conditioning. And the fourth one is personal identity or identity conflict. This one is more subtle. So for decades, many women prioritize their career, children, spouses, aging parents. Somewhere along the way, we internalized taking time for myself is selfish. Resistance training requires time, space, effort, self-focus, and if your identity is not yet shifted to a positive mindset that you are a woman who prioritizes your health and your strength, then your subconscious mind is going to continue to resist. And the next one is neurobiology, and that's your reward center. The dopamine hits. Our brains are programmed for instant gratification. And this is really important because everybody likes, wants, and seeks instant gratification. So we all get daily dopamine hits that make us feel good. When we scroll social media and see pleasing images, when we eat sugar, we check our email, when we listen to a favorite song, we step into the sunlight, pet your dog, get a hug from a loved one. So why does that not relate to resistance training? Because you get delayed gratification, not instant gratification. The payoff is real: muscle gain, bone density, longevity, but it's just not immediate. And your brain prefers short-term reward over long-term gain. That's neurobiology. So we have got a lot of really heavy hitters working against us automatically. So we need to stop being hard on ourselves about being lazy, or I don't have the motivation, or everything hurts, or we need to move past that. I've moved past it and I know what it's done for my life. And age is no excuse because you can be better at any age. Now I'm going to be your annoying, depending on your age, you could consider me your sister or your mother. I don't really care, but I feel like this is my purpose now. So I'm going to say it as I see it and hope that some of you out there will benefit from it. So how can we overcome each of these really powerful resistances that are natural within all of us? So we start by acknowledging and then figure out how to remove it. So in the case of biology, overcoming inertia, you don't need motivation, you need motion. Start ridiculously small. 2 squats for 5 minutes, 1 set. Or do some bicep curls, 1 set of 6 reps using low weights. The goal isn't a full workout. That comes later. The goal is breaking inertia. And the second one, psychology, is about calming the threat response. When your body feels strain, your muscles are going to get sore. That shows that the exercise is working. You want to say this internally. This is safe. This is not a threat. This is growth. This is good for me. And slowing down your breathing process will lower the amygdala activation. When you think about it this way, resistance training is really controlled stress on your body. But controlled stress builds resilience, not resistance. Your brain needs to learn that the discomfort does not equate to danger. And you can do that with your own self-talk. And as it relates to your emotional discomfort, if past experiences have made you feel humiliation, train privately, train at home. You don't need a gym. Lift some light weights, remove your comparisons, and stop competing with your 35-year-old self. You're now building your future self, the self who wants to live a long, vibrant, and healthy life. And the next one is to shift how you frame things to yourself. I'm trying to exercise. Rather than saying that, say, I'm becoming stronger and more beautiful. And that drives behavior. When strength becomes who you are, consistency becomes easier. And then we have the neurobiology, the engineering, the dopamine. And this is critical. Research in neuroscience shows that when we track progress and complete small tasks, our brain releases dopamine, reinforcing motivation and making us more likely to repeat that behavior. So checking something off matters. Logging your workout matters. Seeing streaks matters. Your brain responds to visible progress. That's not vanity, that's wiring. And that is why I created my new free app for you and for everyone in my community. It's to help you create your own custom goals, track your progress, get positive reinforcement whenever you log a routine as complete. It lets you stop overthinking what you should be doing. You create a plan and then you just check in to find out what's on the list for today. Your routines will automatically show up in the days that you've pre-selected so you never miss a mission. You can skip to the next day or the next week so you have total control over it, but it will set out for you the goals that you have for yourself and make it easy for you to accomplish those. And the other way this app really, really helps is we don't need more motivation. Motivation are basically fleeting thoughts. They have no stability or structure. What we need is structure. The other reason why this app is so crucial for success, and I'm talking about for anything, it doesn't have to be fitness. I even have in mind a little routine set up to remind me to take the trash out. Ever since my husband got ill, I have trash duty. I always forget. So now every Thursday on my list of routines, there it is. You get to decide which items you want to add. You can add ones that are already in the program or add your own. But the point is we all need structure, especially if you're trying to be consistent with goals. And so the app gives you that structure. You see visible progress with your scheduled routines. You have proof of consistency. And when you open it each day, you don't ask, well, do I feel like working out today? You see upper body day, squats, stretching, whatever it is, and you check it off. And that check mark gives your brain a dopamine response. So you are literally rewiring yourself from resistance to repetition to identity. That is neuroplasticity in action. Small, consistent behaviors strengthen the neural pathways, and the more you act, the easier it becomes, since motion creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence, and confidence helps you accomplish bold goals. It all fits together. I developed this for my community. I encourage people to have bold goals, which is not always easy unless you have some clarity and direction, and that's what this gives you. So at newagebeauty.com, you can learn more and you just register for it. You also need to think about how to reframe how you think. If your goal is to exercise more, your brain won't engage just based on the fact that you want to exercise more. But if you have a clear visualization of a goal, like I want to live in my own home and walk upstairs at 90. I want to hike in Italy at 82. Now we're talking bold goals, and bold goals activate emotion, and emotion activates action, and action rewires your identity. And if one of your goals is, I want to wear sleeveless dresses with arms that look powerful, like mine was, I'm going to show you the 3 exercises now that I credit with giving me the power and shape I have at 76. I'm sharing these routines that work for me, but I'm not a certified fitness professional. Always check with your physician or a qualified trainer before starting any new exercise, and move slowly with good form. You should feel your muscles working, but not be in pain. Always make sure you are grounded with your feet firmly on the floor, and always control the movement so the motion is smooth. Do not overexert. You will feel the strain in your arm and shoulder muscles as you lift the weights. Control your breathing so you are exhaling on exertion. So this first exercise I call the 3-stage bicep curl. It's performed in stages where you take your arm fully extended down with palms facing forward and holding the weight. And you want to do this with very low weights to get started, maybe 1 or 2 pounds. And then you lift the weight slowly up to your elbow height and then slowly back down. And you repeat that. I would start doing it 3 times. In this video, I'm showing doing it 8 times. Then after you do that first motion, you then will take that same weight and lift it from elbow height up to shoulder height. And you'll repeat that the same number of repetitions. And then the final step is you will take the arm from all the way at its lowest point and lift it all the way up to shoulder height. So the full range of motion. And you're going to repeat that for the same number of reps. So as an FYI, I am using 8 pounds here after working up to that over time. But when I'm not filming, I typically use 12 pounds, and I do it sitting on my bench with my back supported. This is the overhead tricep dumbbell extension. Stand tall with your feet about shoulder width apart. Hold one dumbbell with both hands, gripping the top end of the weight. Raise the dumbbell over your head with your arms fully extended. Keeping your arms close to your ears, slowly bend your elbows and lower the dumbbell behind your head. Only your forearms should move. Your upper arms stay mostly vertical. Then press the dumbbell back up overhead by straightening your elbows. And at the top, squeeze the triceps, the back of your arms. Repeat by moving slowly and with control, keeping the motion smooth and steady. I would start by doing 5 of these with a low weight until you get comfortable with the motion, and then gradually increase your weight and the number of reps. I typically do 8 to 10 of these. This is the hammer curl press. It's a combination exercise that works the biceps and shoulders in one smooth movement. Begin by standing tall with your feet shoulder width apart, holding a dumbbell in each hand with your arms at your sides and palms facing inward in the hammer curl position. Start by lifting the dumbbell straight up towards your shoulders while keeping your elbows close to your sides and your palms facing inward. When the dumbbells reach shoulder height, rotate your wrists outward so your palms face forward, and then open your shoulders to begin preparing for the press. From this position, press the dumbbells overhead until your arms are fully extended. Then slowly reverse the movement. Lower the weights back to shoulder height. Rotate your palms back inward and lower the dumbbells to your sides. Move slowly and with control, keeping your core engaged and your breathing steady. Exhale as you press the weights overhead. I suggest you begin this one by doing a standard hammer curl and an overhead press separately, using light weights and 5 reps until you get the motion. Then you can combine them. For any of these exercises, start with a weight that feels comfortable and focus on smooth, controlled movement. As you get stronger, gradually increase the weight so that 10 to 12 repetitions feels challenging, working up to a total of 3 sets, keeping good form. So if I could do this starting in my late 60s, you can do this. If you are finding the content in this video helpful, I hope that you will click to subscribe, leave me a hype, a like, and click on the notification bell so you'll know when I upload new content. So today we've learned about why we resist. And that in and of itself is powerful. But taking action is what actually will rewire our brains. Set some bold goals that excite you, and then build a structure that supports it. It's not too late. It's too important. We don't want to shrink as we get older. We want to grow bolder. And getting stronger is a big part of that future story of yours. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I'm going to put a video here that will tell you all about the app if you want to learn more. But make sure, whether you watch it or not, that you go to newagebeauty.com and get it. I promise you, it is going to help you succeed with any of your bold goals. Don't forget to subscribe. Here's a couple other videos that you may find helpful. And I'm just so happy to see you here. Have a beautiful day.